Welcome to Defeat Your Cravings, hosted by Dr. Glenn Livingston, PhD. Glenn has held his doctorate in psychology for more than 30 years and is also a former multi-million-dollar consultant to the big food industry and uses his experience to help you defeat your cravings. This show will help you to focus on dramatically reducing cravings and leave the diet mentality behind, so you can more easily and effortlessly achieve your health, fitness, and body composition goals. Please remember, no doctor-patient relationship is created via this show, and you are responsible for confirming any changes to your diet, health, or psychological routines with an appropriately licensed professional before implementing them. Now, before we get started, if you haven't yet downloaded the free smartphone app to access dozens of these recordings all in one place, as well as to avail yourself of a confidential community for support, motivation, and assistance, please visit the podcast link on defeatyourcravings.com as soon as possible. And now, here's your host, Dr. Glenn Livingston.
Hey, this is the very good Dr. Glenn Livingston, and I'm here with a nice woman named Kate who has been through some of our programs, and actually just one of our programs, and is interested in sharing some of her experiences and a bit of her story and her observations and strengths and hopes and wisdoms and trials and tribulations and failures so that you can benefit from all of it. So, Kate, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Terrific. Why don't we start at the beginning, not with the dinosaurs, but the beginning of your food journey? What was it like before you came to us?
Sure. I feel like I've binged on and off for as long as I can remember, probably my teenage years, kind of used food as a tool of comfort and kind of on and off, not consistently, but about 6 or 7 years ago, I went through a divorce, and that really kind of spiraled to become more of a regular habit where I would binge eat maybe 3 to 4 times a week, just to really, what I called numb myself, to not be feeling emotions and to kind of escape stress from work and going through a big life change. And then about a year ago with COVID, it just got worse. I'm single, I live alone, I have great family and friends, but when you can't see people and you're used to being really busy, to kind of mask that numbness, there's not much left besides food. So when I joined this in April, I had been trying different things. I tried therapy, like the telehealth type stuff. And really just no one understood what I was going through. So actually I found the book on Amazon and then joined the Facebook group and then heard about the intensive course. Once I really started reading that, it just all resonated so well. It was everything I had been looking for, but not able to find for the past 6-7 years. So it was very welcome.
What was it about it that resonated?
It was one of those things where in the book and in the discussions and the materials, it was like, I feel the exact same way. And so it's ironic if you don't really know anybody else going through what you're going through, to be reading what other people are posting in Facebook groups saying, I'm doing the exact same thing. I use food as a comfort tool. I use food to escape my problems, to release stress. It was just nice to hear that I was not alone in this problem. And I'll be honest, hearing about the pig, it kind of just freed my mind up a little bit. I always thought there's just something really wrong with me. So to kind of take it a little bit outside of myself is how I kind of view the pig. It just really helped me to distance myself a bit from the behavior. And that really helped me kind of get through all this.
That makes sense. I hear so often that people thought they were alone because we're all binging in the back of a parking lot in a supermarket and hiding from the world and trying to hide the evidence afterwards and thinking that we must be effing crazy.
Right.
Yeah. Excuse my language, even though it's not used.
No, I'm open to it.
Thank you. Thank you. And as much as binging can be crazy, we're definitely not alone. So it sounds like the social connection and the notion of being able to separate from that very dangerous part of yourself that wants to destruct with food was helpful to you. You could overcome the shame and you could just start to focus more logically and objectively about what you needed to do.
Very much so. I started to question things. And rather than getting mad at myself every time, I would start to just ask myself questions and say things like, is this really going to make you feel better? And of course, the answer was no. But it's just interesting that it kind of took this experience for me to realize, just objectively kind of stand back from it. And once I saw the reality, everything just became really clear.
What became clear to you?
Yeah, it just became really clear that I could overcome this. I'll admit when I first heard it, I kind of laughed and was like, well, who can guarantee that, right? So I questioned that altogether. But then as I kind of went through the process and went through the materials and the course, it was kind of like, I can do this. It's really just in my head and I can change my thoughts. Then my behaviors will change. So it was an interesting sequence of events. Usually I was just like, I need to stop binging and then I'll feel better. But really, I need to feel better and then stop binging. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but that was just kind of what I was going through.
You had the idea that you had to attend to your feelings first and then you would stop binging. It worked out to be the other way.
Right. Yeah, I think so. I feel like I was waiting for some big thing to happen. And then one day maybe I would stop binging, but I could never picture that day. And now if you were to tell me, a year ago that I would be binge free now for almost 2 months, I wouldn't have believed it.
Tell me more about the mechanics of getting binge free. What did you use, if you don't mind sharing? Which parts of the program were most helpful to you? Tell me about that.
I really only have probably about 4 or 5 different refutations, but they're very loud refutations. So repeating those really helped. And I will say probably the biggest thing that helped me was doing the big why. And then really, actually, the big why not helped me modify my big why. And then it kind of just tied it to a bigger purpose. And I never would have thought that, okay, if I stop binging, other parts of my life will start going well. And that's exactly what's been happening. Like I have more energy. I'm driven to do more things. I'm more productive. And I never would have thought that the two were tied together. So really just reading that big why every morning and just remembering that this is just one big piece of my life, but there's so much more to this, really eye-opening for me.
How did your big why not help you to modify your big why and make it more motivating?
It became a little more personal. You took the big why not and the things, and it was really emotional to write it all out because it felt really real and raw. And so to kind of re-scope those into the things that really mattered to me, it's really hit home for me.
Is there any chance you could share some of your big why not and your big why?
Oh, yeah. So in my big why not, obviously at the end, we turn it around more into the big why. It's kind of long though, but I don't know if you want me to just share part of it.
I'd be really curious how the big why not influenced it. For people who don't know, the big why not is what's going to happen in your life over the course of the next 5-10 years if you keep binging. That's the big why not. Most of the time, the pig says you might as well just start later. It's going to be just the same. You're going to be starting from the same place. But the truth is that we're usually slipping and sliding. And in 5 years or 10 years, we're going to be in a really bad position. Go ahead.
A lot of my big why not was about wanting to escape the feelings of just anxiety and stress. Actually, it's the enhancing the big why. So basically, I said I comply with my food plan and aggressively refute the pig 100% of the time. And really, this is kind of the paragraph that means the most. I said, I no longer see food as a solution to feelings of sadness or stress. I use food as a tool of nourishment, and I choose food that fuels me and provides the energy I need for my busy life. I feel strong, fit, and beautiful every day in my skin. And while I do have feelings of sadness and stress sometimes, I tackle each challenge with gusto and make the decisions that are most aligned with my goals, make me feel alive, and move me forward every day. I radiate unshakable confidence, inner peace, and warmth that attract all types of people to me: family, friendships, romantic partnerships. I live a mindful and confident life in the present moment without feeling fear for the future or guilt and shame about the past. I feel balanced and whole every day, productive when it matters, but also understand when I need to rest and refresh myself. I take risks in my life, whether it's with my career, relationships, or other adventures. I follow my passions and I'm open to where my new path takes me. I'm fully committed to this lifestyle of mindfulness and incorporate that into every aspect of my life. Overall, I'm just so happy with where I'm at on my journey. I have a full life of abundance. I wake up every day just feeling blessed and appreciative of what I have. I feel stimulated. I feel thriving. I feel truly alive. And that is why I comply with my food plan and aggressively refute the pig 100% of the time.
Wow.
To me, like when I wrote it, I was like, oh, I like my big why. And then I kind of revised it. It just really hit. And I think the part that helps is saying, I know I'm going to feel sad. I know I'm going to feel stressed. But rather than just kind of wanting to numb out and go to food and put television on and just zone out for 5-6 hours in a night and go to bed feeling tired and depressed and guilty and shameful, I can figure out what the solution is, ask the questions, and really just tackle that problem. The rules really help me too. I've always loved rules. And I think knowing there's a food plan and these unshakable rules really help guide as well.
I love it. And how did the big why not influence the big why?
I think that the part that really hit me the most, and that's why I kind of put it at the top of my revised big why, is just about my anxiety. If I don't fix this, my anxiety is going to be so much worse. Just no motivation to do anything. I struggle daily to get through the day. I stay up too late watching TV. I don't sleep well. I'm tired throughout the day, and I'm too afraid to take risks. And this kind of scared me a little bit. And so that was why when I started to rewrite my big why and to address those things, it really hit home because those were real fears. I was so afraid of being anxious. And so I would just avoid it at all costs, which meant I'd be a binge watcher, I'd be a binge drinker, a binge eater. I just wanted to just not think about something. And I thought that that was my way out. And now I know that that's not the case anymore.
That's wonderful, by the way. Thank you. Do you know that while binging might provide a temporary relief from anxiety, it actually makes it worse in the long run?
Now I do.
Okay,
Did it for a long
terrific.
time, but now I finally see that.
Terrific. Is there any other parts of the program that were helpful? The emails with your coaches, the lectures, anything else you want to say about that? Or was it mostly the big why and having rules and some social contact with other people so you weren't alone in this?
I will say the coaching part of it is a huge help. It kind of helps with accountability. I'm not necessarily a people pleaser, but knowing that there is someone who is rooting for me and is literally just there to be a sounding board, to ask questions. And if I was tempted in the beginning to want to binge, I would say, well, I'd have to report it. So in the beginning, that was part of the motivation, was like, I don't want to disappoint my coach. And obviously it says so about the motivation so much, but knowing that I'm going to have, even though it's not daily anymore, communication with this person for the next few months just makes me feel like by the time this is 6 months or a year, whatever this period is over, and I don't have the coach there, like I know I'll have all the skills. I save all your emails. I've got the books. Like I know that I have the tools and the resources in my toolbox that this will never be a problem again. And if I start to feel those feelings again, if I feel like this is something that sounds comforting again, I know I have a whole arsenal of stuff to get me through that.
Terrific. Is there anything that I should have asked you that I didn't ask you?
No, it's just such a nice feeling just to feel free and to feel like I'm a normal person, quote unquote. I never would have thought so. And so I just see so much potential in the next few months and years. I feel like I kind of gained part of myself back. And I think that's just huge. But no, nothing else you haven't asked me. So
Isn't that beautiful?
yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing this. Thank you so much.
No,
for
thank
doing
you, Glenn. I really appreciate it. I'm so grateful for the program and I'm just so glad I found you and the group. Just excited to see what happens next. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. Very grateful. Thank you.
this. Okay. Well, have a lovely weekend. I'll see you in the groups.
Sounds good. Thanks, Glenn. Have a
Okay.
good one. All right.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
And that brings us to the end of today's broadcast of Defeat Your Cravings, hosted by Dr. Glenn Livingston. Now, if you'd like to find out more about the products and services Dr. Glenn offers to help you dramatically reduce your cravings and stop overeating in 90 days or less, please visit defeatyourcravingscoaching.com. That's defeatyourcravingscoaching.com. Thanks.